It's been 8 years since the first I Can Only Imagine movie came out, and this month they released the second installment taking place over 10 years in the future. But the question is, did the sequel fall flat as many sequels do, or does it hold up to the standards set by the original? Well, I've seen it, so let's talk about it. Now, they say sequels are never good as the original, but I Can Only Imagine 2 proves them wrong. This film is as good as the first, if not a little bit better. It builds well on the first film, giving us the same inspiration with a more developed storyline and cast of characters. Bart Millard is back, with a family of his own, including his eldest son Sam, who has type 1 diabetes. Because of this, their relationship is strained. It's based on Bart's need to keep Sam alive, and not on any sort of personal father-son relationship. Naturally, Bart is scared he will hurt his own son, similar to how his dad hurt him. But he doesn't tell his son that. He shuts down and refuses to open up. Their relationship is the heart of the film, and how they wrestle with each other and with God teaches them how to have a healthy, personal relationship despite the possible injury. And this conflict is the strongest aspect of the plot. I Can Only Imagine 2 does follow the same structure as the first, including the father-son issues, the creation of a new song saving their career, and the romantic hugging of Shannon at a huge show in the end of the movie. But the filmmakers were more confident in their successful Christian movie formula, so they were able to flesh out the characters way more. The appearance of Tim Timmons as Mercy Me's opening act, played by Gilmore Girls star Milo Ventimiglia, saved this film from being an exact copy-paste of the first. He is the joyful foil to Bart's depressed demeanor. Timmons is a new face and a new entrance into the story for people who loved the original movie but want something a little different in the sequel. What I really loved was being able to see the band's personalities come out a lot more in this film, and that built the world much better than the first. It feels more grounded. They even come up with fun pranks and jokes to play on each other that really makes you feel like you're part of the band. In one particular scene towards the beginning, as a form of band initiation, Timmons decides to go to the bathroom while the bus is moving, and as soon as he locks the door, the driver slams on the brakes, and everyone cracks up, and Timon walks out with what we hope is toilet water and not pee covering his shirt. And this scene sets the tone for the band's relationships throughout the rest of the film. One of the biggest critiques I have for Christian-specific films is that they always seem to end with an unearned, emotional, evangelistic sermon that is just really ineffective. This film ends with a type of sermon, with Bart reading from his personal journal in a support group, but it relates perfectly to his personal testimony and the plot, and it feels realistic. It feels earned, and it wraps up the story well. For content to consider, there's nothing for language. For violence, the only thing that might be slightly disturbing is one character has cancer and coughs up blood a few times. Another character passes out several times, one while at the top of a ladder, but there's no blood or gore. One child with type 1 diabetes is unable to get stabilized and passes away. His body is shown briefly on a gurney as they roll him into a back room, and his parents are shown grieving in an elevator. Thankfully, there is nothing for sexuality. For themes and worldview, the word is gratitude. Death, diagnoses, broken relationships, tragedies happen in life. How are we supposed to deal with our trials? In 2 Corinthians 12, 9-10, Paul writes, "Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong." And Romans 5, 3-5 says, "Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us." The big song for this film, Even If, was co-written by Bart and Timmons, and it's about worshiping through doubt and pain and finding the gratitude in those moments. It comes from a place of profound suffering, the struggle in your faith that comes when it feels like God's abandoned you. And the line that strikes me the most is, "I know you're able and I know you can, save through the fire with your mighty hand. But even if you don't, my hope is in you alone." We have to find our hope in God and His goodness, even when we can't see where He is leading us or when we don't understand His plan. When we look to Jesus in every situation, in every aspect of our life, when we find our hope in the only being that can give it and carry it without fail, we can approach life with unexplainable, unending gratitude that exists despite our circumstances. The I Can Only Imagine films are how Christian movies should be made. They deal with real problems without solving them in unattainable, unrealistic ways in an instant. They end with the characters still struggling and not riding off into the sunset, which I truly appreciate. It doesn't present Christianity as an end-all, be-all, prosperity-type gospel, where if only you believe, all your problems are solved. The second film in particular achieves this with a more fully developed plot and characters, giving us a better constructed yet equally as inspiring watch. The characters have to wrestle with their issues to find the answer, and sometimes that answer is not complete or satisfying. And God is clearly in the midst of it without appearing to them in a dream or a vision to tell them word for word what to do. And if you loved the first film, I think you're guaranteed to love the second. But hey, I would love to hear what you thought of the movie, so don't be shy, jump into the comments, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. We've got a ton of fun stuff, including movie reviews, podcasts, and interviews, so check those out. And as always, stay safe and continue to collide with your world for Christ.